Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Let's encode the logic. I hope you all are doing good. In this video, we are going to discuss about these programs which are using for loop and while loop. And these are the very important coding problems which are asked by the interviewers during interviews, guys. And in this video, at first I will explain you the logic and then we will delve into the coding part. So it might be time taking, but trust me guys, this is the best video for you. So I will definitely recommend for all the beginners who want to delve into the coding world, must watch this series. And one more thing, this is the part 1 of coding series using for loop and while loop, guys. So without making any delay, let's quickly jump into the part 1 series. In this video, we are going to discuss about a program sum of numbers from A to B. So we need to find out the sum of numbers from A to B, including both A and B. Let us say we have A equal to 5 and B equal to 10. These are the inputs. Then the output should be like 5 plus 6 plus 7 plus 8 plus 9 plus 10, which is equal to 45. So we need to sum the numbers from A to B. Okay, let's understand this with another example. Let us say I have A equal to 11 and B equal to 14. Then my output should be like 11 plus 12 plus then 13 plus and then 14, which is equal to 50. In this way, I need to compute the output. And now we need to write a code for this. So before writing the code, let's figure out the code in a simple words. At first, we need to take the input. So what are my inputs? My inputs are A and B. Okay, fine. So next we need to think for the logic. So what could be my logic? I will use a for loop. Why? Because if you observe, this sum is forming a sequence like 5 after 6 and then 6 after 7 and then 7 after 8 and then up to so on 10, right? It was forming a sequence, right? And we are iterating on each and every element from A to B, right? So we are moving forward. So that's why we need to use a for loop. And what is the definition of for loop? The for loop definition is we need to iterate on the sequence of items, right? And also we had a range, right? We had a range like A comma B, right? So that's why we'll use a for loop. And we can implement the same code with the while loop also. Here we can keep a condition like A less than or equal to B, right? So that is the while loop condition. We need to have an incrementing statement also. That was A plus plus. We need to increment the A, right? So in this way, we can implement the same code using while loop also. And the final one was output, right? So that was sum of the numbers from A to B, right? Okay, let's implement that. Okay, let me keep a comment first. Sum of numbers from A to B, including. Now we need to take the inputs. The inputs are A and B, right? A equal to int of input of enter lower limit and B equal to int of input of enter upper limit, right? And now we need to use a for loop, right? For I in range of, the range will be from A to B. Since we are including B, we need to do B plus 1, right? And the step would be 1, but there is no need to define the step as 1 because by default, my step will be 1, right? So there is no need to mention it. So now what I need to do? How this loop will works? Let us say if my A equal to 1 and B equal to 3, in the first iteration, my I will become 1. And in the second iteration, my I will become 2. And in the third iteration, I will become 3, right? Now what I need to do with these values? I need to sum them, right? For that summing, we need to take a variable. Let us say I will take a variable S, and in that S, I will store the value 0. I will tell you why I took 0 in the S. Okay. Now my S is storing 0, right? Now I need to append all these i's to the S, right? I will do S equal to S plus I. Okay. Let's trace the code. Let us say my A equal to 1 and B equal to 3. Initially, my S was 0, right? And in the first iteration, my I will become 1. And I need to do S equal to S plus I, right? What was my S? My S was 0 plus I. I was 1. It's equal to 1, right? And in the second iteration, my I will become 2. And my S equal to S plus I. So what was my recent value of S? That was 1, right? 1 plus I, that was 2, which is equal to 3. Okay, fine. And in the third iteration, my I will become 3, right? I need to do s equal to, the recent value of s was 3 plus 3, which is equal to 6. And in the fourth iteration, that was I equal to 4, which is out of range. In this way, this code snippet will work. So that's why I took s equal to 0. Initially, it needs to store nothing. That's why I kept s equal to 0. And later we need to add all the numbers within the range. So the input part was completed and also the logic part was completed. Finally, we need to print the output, right? The sum of numbers from A to B is yes, right? Okay, this is the code. Let me run this code. Okay, let me give my lower limit as 1 and my upper limit as 10. So if you see, the sum of numbers from 1 to 10 is 55, right? Let me run this program again. I will give lower limit 5 and upper limit 10. So if you see, sum of numbers from 5 to 10 is 45. And once more, this time I will give 11 and 14. Now my output should be 50, right? So the sum of numbers from 11 to 14 is 50. So this is the code for sum of numbers from A to B using a for loop. So now we need to write the same code using a while loop. Okay. Let me remove this. So let me keep a while loop. So what could be my condition? What I was doing? I was starting from A and I was going till B, right? Let us say A equal to 5 and 6 will be A plus 1, right? And 7 will be A plus 2 and 8 will be A plus 3. 9 will be A plus 4 and 10 will be A plus 5. So what was my incrementing statement? That was A equal to A plus 1, right? Every time we are modifying the A. The condition was I will start from A and I will go till B. I kept less than or equal to B because I need to include the B. In the previous one, what we did? We initialized S equal to 0, right? Here also we need to do that. And what I need to do now? I need to do S equal to S plus A. And I need to increment my A. So this is the logic part. So there is one more thing that I want to say. So here we are incrementing A. What was happening? Every time the A value was getting changed, right? But I don't want to change my value of A. If the A equal to 5, I just want to keep it like A equal to 5. So in that case, what I can do is I will take an extra variable like I and I will store the value of A. And here in this condition, I will keep while I less than or equal to B and S equal to S plus I. And every time I will be incremented, right? So what happens now? I was increasing by A will be like the same. I stored the value of A in I and every time I summing the value of I to the S and I incrementing my I and the I will go still B, right? Okay, now we need to finally print the output. The sum of numbers from A to B, A to B is yes, right? Okay, this is the code. Let me run the code. I will give the lower limit as 1 and the upper limit as 20. So the sum of numbers from 1 to 20 is 210, right? Okay, fine. Let me run this program again. Lower limit as 30 and my upper limit as 31. So the sum of numbers from 30 to 31 is 61. Okay, let me run this program again. I will give my lower limit as 100 and also my upper limit as 100. So the sum of numbers from 100 to 100 is 100 only, right? So in every case, it was working fine. So this is the program of sum of numbers from A to B using for loop and while loop, guys. In this video, we are going to write a program about sum of even numbers till n and sum of odd numbers till n. So sum of even numbers till n. If n equal to 10 is the input, then output should be like, we need to select the even numbers from 1 to 10. So within the 1 to 10, we have even numbers which are 2, 4, 6, 8 and 10. And we need to sum all those even numbers and we need to print the result. And similarly, sum of odd numbers till n. If n equal to 10 is the input, then the output should be like, we need to select all the odd numbers within 1 to n, nothing but 1 to 10, and we need to sum them. We have odd numbers within 1 to 10. They are 1, 3, 5, 7, and we need to sum all of them. And we need to finally print the output, that was 25. So now we need to write a code for sum of even numbers till n and also sum of odd numbers till n. So before jumping into the coding part, let's figure out the logic in simple words. At first, we need to take the input. So what could be my input? My input was n, right? Okay, fine. Later, the logic part. So here I want to use a for loop because here we are using a range like 1 to n. We are going from 1 to n. We are following a sequence, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, and up to and so on n, right? And we iterate from all the numbers within this range 1 to n, and we check if that number is an even number, then we will add that number to even variable. If the number is an odd number, then we will add that number to an odd variable, right? So that's why we will use a for loop. And coming to the output, we need to print the result. That was sum of even numbers till n and also the sum of odd numbers till n. Okay, now let's write the code for it. Okay, let me keep a comment first. That was sum of even numbers till n and also sum of odd numbers till n. At first we need to take the input, right? That was n equal to int of input of enter the number, right? We need to take a for loop, right? For I in range of, so what could be my range? What I was doing, I was going from 1 to n, right? Both are including. So we need to keep the range as 1 comma n plus 1, right? And now what we need to do? We need to find out whether the numbers within the range is an even number or an odd number. To find out that, what we will do? We will do if I mod 2 equal to 0. If it is true, then we can say the number is an even number, right? Or else the number is an odd number, right? And one more thing, if you don't know how to write a program to check whether a number is an odd number or even number, I have already discussed about that program in our channel. If you haven't watched that video yet, please do watch it. I will provide the link in the description box. Please do check it. So in this way, we will find out. So if I mod 2 equal to 0, then we get to know that the I is an even number. So then what we need to do? We need to add that number I to a even variable, right? Okay, let's take an even variable, even, and initialize that variable as 0. Initially, the even variable should hold 0. Then we will append I, right? If we get to know the I is an odd number, what we need to do? We need to append that number I to an odd variable, right? Okay, let's take odd equal to 0, right? And what we need to do? We need to do odd equal to odd plus I. So this is the logic part. Now the input part was completed and the logic part was completed. Finally, we need to print the output, right? Print the sum of even numbers till n is even, right? And similarly, the sum of odd numbers till n is odd, right? So this is the code. Let me run this code and we'll see what is the output. So let me give you number 10. So if you see, the sum of even numbers till 10 is 30 and sum of odd numbers till 10 is 25. Okay, let me run this program again. I will give number 5. So we'll see sum of even numbers till 5. So what are the even numbers till 5? We have 2 and 4. 2 plus 4, it was 6. So the output was correct. And the odd numbers, we have 1, 3 and 5. 1 plus 3 plus 5, that was 9. Fine. Let me run this program again. This time I will give 6. If you see, the sum of even numbers till 6 is 12 and the sum of odd numbers till 6 is 9. So in this way, the program will work. We can also do the same program in another approach. Let me remove this logic part. And this time also I will use a for loop for I in range of 1 comma n plus 1. In the previous logic, we haven't defined the step because by default the step was 1. So we haven't declared that. What if I declared the step as 2? Then my values of I are, in the first iteration, my I was 1, right? In the second iteration, my I will become I plus 2, nothing but 1 plus 2, right? Which was 3. In the third iteration, my I will become 5. And in the fourth iteration, my I will become 9, right? In this way, the I will goes. If you observe how my I values are, these are odd numbers, right? These are odd numbers. What we can do now? We can append all these I values to odd variable, right? And we initialized odd equal to 0 at first. So now with this logic, we computed sum of odd numbers till n. Okay, then what we need to do for computing the sum of even numbers till n? Okay, let's again use a for loop for I in range of 1 comma n plus 1. So from where my even numbers will start from? My even numbers will start from 2, right? 2 and then 4. It keep on goes like that. Right? Instead of keeping a beginning value as 1, let's keep 2 for the even numbers. And let's define the step as 2. So now what are my values? My values were in the first iteration, my will be 2, and in the second iteration, my will be 4, and in the third iteration, my will become 4 plus 2, that was 6, and then fourth iteration, it was 6 plus 2, 8, and then 10, and then 12, and so on. And now what we need to do? We need to append all these even values to even variable, right? In this way also, we can compute the sum of even numbers till n and sum of odd numbers till n. Okay, let me run this program again. We'll see how it will works. Okay, this time I will again give 10. So if you see, it was 30 and 25. Okay, working fine. And let me run this program again. This time I will give 20. The sum of even numbers till 20 is 110. And the sum of odd numbers till 20 is 100. Right? So this is the method 2 of finding sum of even numbers till n and sum of odd numbers till n. So there is another method to find out. Let me tell you that method 3 also. So okay, we know how to find out the sum of numbers till n. Just numbers, right? Till n. We know the formula that n into n plus 1 by 2, right? So we also know the sum of numbers till n is equal to sum of even numbers plus sum of odd numbers till n, right? Now let's send this sum of even numbers to the left side. Then my formula will be like sum of numbers minus sum of even numbers will be equal to sum of odd numbers, right? Or else you can either send this sum of odd numbers to the left side. Then my formula will be like sum of numbers minus sum of odd numbers is equal to sum of even numbers, right? So if you observe the method reverse, we need to compute the sum of numbers. That was n into n plus 1 by 2. It is simple to find out, right? If we have n, we can simply compute it. And later we need to find out either sum of even numbers or sum of odd numbers. Then eventually using any of this formula, we can find out the other one. Okay, let's write the code for it. So total equal to n into n plus 1 by 2, right? We need to use a floor division to get the precise value. Fine. Okay, let's compute the odd numbers and don't compute this. Let me keep a comment for this. And now what is my even value? Okay, let me remove this variable. My even will become total minus odd, right? If you see, sum of even numbers equal to sum of numbers, nothing but the total, minus sum of odd numbers, nothing but the odd, right? Okay, let me run this program again. I will enter the number 10. So if you see, the same result, it was 30 and 25. Fine. Okay, let's compute the odd number using the total variable and also the even variable, right? Okay, let me keep the comment to them. So remove the comments to this loop and then remove this and also this. We need to initialize even equal to 0. And later we find out total equal to n into n plus 1 by 2 and then this for loop will take care of finding the sum of even numbers, right? Finally, we need to do odd equal to total minus even, right? So this is what the formula, sum of odd numbers equal to sum of numbers minus sum of even numbers. So let me run this program again. I will give 10. So if you see, the sum of even numbers till 10 is 30 and the sum of odd numbers till 10 is 25. So this is the method 3, guys. Okay, let me remove this. So till now, we computed the sum of even numbers and the sum of odd numbers using a for loop. Okay, let's compute them using a while loop, right? Okay, let me initialize my even equal to 0 and also my odd equal to 0. And I will use a while loop. So what was my condition? I need to start from 1. So that's why I equal to 1, right? And I need to go till n. Okay, we will check if I mod 2 equal to 0, then it was an even number, right? So we will add that value to even variable, even equal to even plus I, or else we will add that number to odd variable, right? Odd equal to odd plus I. And every time we need to have a increment statement whenever we are using the while loop, right? My increment statement was I equal to I plus 1. Now let me run this program and we'll see. So I will give 10. So if you see, it was 30 and 25, fine. And let me run this program again. Let's give 13 this time. So it was 42 and 49. So this is a method 1 of using a while loop, guys. We can implement the same method 2 and method 3, which I told before, using a while loop too. So I want you people to write a program for method 2 and method 3 using while loop, guys. So write your method 2 and method 3 using while loop programs in the comment box. I will definitely check it and I will let you know whether it will work fine or not. In this video, we are going to discuss about a program that was multiplication table program. So what is this multiplication table program? In our childhood, in our schooling, we taught this multiplication tables, right? That was 2 table, 3 table, 4 table, 5 table, right? If it is a 2 table, we will say 2 ones are 2, 2 twos are 4, 2 threes are 6, and 2 fours are 8, and so on and so forth, right? And also we will do it till 10 steps, right? Okay, now we need to write a program for that multiplication table. So let us see this. If table number equal to 5 and steps equal to 6, then the output should be like 5 ones are 5 and 5 twos are 10, 5 threes are 15, and so on. 5 6 are 30. So if the table number is 5, we need to do a 5 table, and also we need to go till the steps that the user has given. Here I define number of steps equal to 6. That's why I go till 6. For suppose if I define steps equal to 7, I need to go till 5 into 7, that was 35 also. And if my number of steps equal to 10, then I need to go till 5 into 10, that was 50. And if my number of steps was 20, I need to go till 5 into 20, that was 100. Now let's write the code for it. Let's figure out the logic in simple words first. At first, we need to take the input from the user. So what are my inputs? So my inputs are table number and number of steps, right? And next, the logic. So what could be my logic? I will use a for loop. I will use a for loop because if you observe, we are following a sequence, right? So we will compute 5 into 1 first. Later, we will go for 5 into 2. And later, we will go for 5 into 3. And so on. Finally, I was going till 5 into 6. I was forming a sequence. I was going from 1 and going till steps, right? And I was iterating on each and every number within this range, right? So that's why I will use a for loop. And finally, we have to print the output. The output should be like this. That was in a tabular format, right? Okay, now let's write the code for it. Okay, let me keep a comment first. Multiplication table program, right? So at first we have to take the input. So what are my inputs? My inputs are the table number and the number of steps, right? So I will keep n equal to int of input of enter table number, right? And for the steps equal to int of input of enter number of steps. right? So the input part was completed. Now we need to focus on the logic part. So I will use a for loop first for I in range of, from where to where I need to go till. I need to start from 1 and I need to go till steps, right? So steps plus 1, right? And next what I need to do now? Okay. If you observe, I was doing table number into the step number, right? I was doing n into, n is the table number, and I is the step number, right? For I in range of 1 comma steps plus 1. So we are computing n into I, right? Okay, let's keep that. We need to print n into I, right? So if we print like this, how my output should looks like? It looks like 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, right? But we need to print the output like 5 into 1 equal to, 5 into 2 equal to, 5 into 3 equal to, right? So for that, what we need to do? So I will do n comma, I need to use an asterisk symbol, comma, I, comma, equal to, comma. So if we do like this, then the output will looks like this. Okay. Okay, this is the logic part and also the printing part. Okay, let me print another statement like before printing the table, I want to print a statement that was n table, right? Nothing but 5 table or 6 table or 7 table, right? So this is the program, guys. Okay, let me run this program, guys. I will give my table number as 5 and the number of steps as 6. So if you see the 5 table, 5 into 1 equal to 5, 5 into 2 equal to 10, 5 into 3 equal to 15, and then 20, 30, 25, 30. In this way, the program will work. Let me run this again, and this time I will give 8 table and I will go till 10 steps. So if you see 8 ones are 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, 48, 56, 64, 72, 80, right? So this is the multiplication table program using for loop. We can implement the same program using a while loop also. Okay, let's do that. So while, so what could be my condition? I am starting my table number from 1 to steps, right? So my I will start from 1 and I will go till steps, right? And this is the condition under while loop. Okay. Now we need to print the same one. We need to print n into I, which is equal to n into I, right? And what we need to do in the while loop, we need to definitely keep an increment or decrement statement. And what we are doing, we are incrementing the number every time. In the first iteration, it was 1, and the second iteration, it was 2, and 3, 4, 5, 6, right? So we need to use an increment statement that was I equal to I plus 1. So this is the code, guys. Let me run this program. So I will give 14 table and I will go till 8 steps. So if you see, this is the 14 table, right? Let me run this program again. This time I will give table number 10 and I will go till 30 steps. So if you see, the table started from 1 and it goes till the step number 30, right? So this is the program of multiplication table, guys. In this video, we are going to discuss about a program that was factorial of a number. What is a factorial? A factorial number is a mathematical concept denoted by the symbol. So this is how we denote the factorial symbol. And is represented by the product of all positive integers less than or equal to the given positive integer. So this is the definition of the factorial. That was the product of all positive integers less than or equal to the given positive integer. For example, the factorial of a positive integer n, which is denoted as n factorial, which is calculated as n factorial equal to n into n minus 1 into n minus 2 into n minus 3 into and so on, 3 into 2 into 1. So if you see, what was the definition? The definition was product of all positive integers which are less than or equal to the given positive integer, right? So what is my given positive integer? That was n. Okay. N is the given positive integers. So what are the positive numbers which are less than or equal to n? They are n and then n minus 1 and then n minus 2 and then n minus 3 and so on. 4, 3, 2, 1, right? So what we need to do with these numbers? We need to do the product of all positive integers, right? That is what we did. We did n into n minus 1 into n minus 2 into 3 into 2 into 1, right? In this way, we will calculate the factorial of any number. Okay, let us take an example, 5 factorial. So what are the positive numbers which are less than or equal to 5? They are 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, right? So, and what we did? We did product of all these positive numbers. 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. So the result was 120. So the factorial of 5 is 120. So now we need to write a code for this concept. So without diving into the coding part, let's figure out the logic in a simple words. At first, we need to take the input from the user. So what is my input? My input was n, right? And then the logic. So my logic was, I will use a for loop because if you observe, here I am forming a sequence, right? Here I am forming the sequence like n, n minus 1, and then n minus 2, and then till 1, right? It was going till 1. It was a sequence of numbers, right? And I was iterating on these numbers, right? At first, I will iterate on n, and then n minus 1, and then n minus 2, and so on, right? So that's why I will use a for loop. While iterating on the for loop, I will multiply all these values to some variable. Let us say I will use a fact variable. So this is my logic part. Now I need to finally print the output. I will print that variable. That variable was fact. Okay, now let's do the coding. Okay, let me keep a count first. So factorial of a number. Okay, now let's take the input. That was n. N equal to int of input of enter a number. Right? I will use a for loop for I in range of. So what could be my range? So if you observe, I was starting from n and I was going till 1, right? So this is my range, right? So my beginning value was n and I was going till 1, right? My ending value will become 0. So now if I do keep the range function like this, how my series will looks like? In the first iteration, my I will become n, and then in the second iteration, my I will become n plus 1, and in the third iteration, my I will become n plus 2, and in the fourth iteration, my I will become n plus 3, right? And so on so forth. So this is because by default, my step was 1. So that's why every time my I will be incremented. But how I expect my series would looks like? It would be like n and then n minus 1, n minus 2, n minus 3, right? It needs to gradually decreasing, right? So for that, what I need to do? I need to define my step as minus 1. So if I do declare my step as minus 1, then my series will looks like n in the first iteration, and then n minus 1 in the second iteration, and then n minus 2 in the third iteration, and n minus 3 in the fourth iteration, and so on so forth. So now there is no problem with the for loop. Now what I need to do? I need to multiply all these I values to a variable. Let us say that variable is fact, and I will initialize it as some so and so value. So what should I need to initialize the fact variable? So let me initialize the fact variable as 0. Okay, we'll see how this program will work. So what I need to do now? I need to do fact equal to fact into I, right? So let's trace the code. So let us say my n equal to 3. So in the first iteration, my will become 3, right? So fact equal to fact into I. So what was my fact? That was 0 into I, that was 3, which is equal to 0, right? And in the second iteration, my will become 2, right? And then fact equal to fact. My recent value of fact was 0. 0 into 2, which is equal to 0. And in the third iteration, my will become 1, and fact equal to 0 into 1, which is equal to 0. So the final result was 0. But if I do 3 factorial, my output would be like 3 into 2 into 1, which is equal to 6, right? But my final result was 0. So what I need to do? I need to change my fact variable. It should not be initialized with 0. So then what should I need to initialize it with? I will initialize it with 1. Okay, now let's trace the code. Initially, my I was 3 and my fact equal to fact. That was 1 into I. So which is equal to 3. Okay, fine. And in the second iteration, my I will become 2, and I will do fact equal to recent value of fact, that was 3. 3 into 2, which is equal to 6. Fine. And In the third iteration, my I will become 1 and my fact equal to recent value of fact, that was 6 into 1, which is equal to 6. So if you see the final result and the actual result, both are same. So I need to declare my fact as 1. The factorial of n is fact. Okay, this is the code. Let me run this program. So I will give 5 and the factorial of 5 is 120. Okay, fine. And let me run this program again. I will give 3. So what was my result? It was 6, right? So the factorial of 3 is 6. Okay, working fine. Let me run this program again. I will give 10. So the factorial of 10 is 3628800. Okay, fine. So in this way, we will write the factorial program using for loop. Okay, now we need to write the program using a while loop. Okay, let's write that. So let me remove this logic part and I will keep while. So what could be my condition? So from where I was starting? I was starting from n and I was going till 1, right? So I need to declare my I equal to n and I need to go till 1, right? And I need to keep greater than or equal to symbol. So if you see, I kept a greater than or equal to symbol because value of n and then n minus 1 and then n minus 2 all are always greater than or equal to 1, right? So that's why I kept greater than or equal to. So what we need to do now? I will do fact equal to fact into I, right? What I need to keep? Do I need to keep increment statement or decrement statement? So in our case, what we need to keep? If you observe, we are gradually decreasing our number, right? N and then n minus 1, right? So we need to keep a decrement statement. So I will keep I equal to I minus 1. So finally, we will print the output. That was factorial of n is fact. So let me run this program now. So I will give 5. So if you see the factorial of 5 is 120. And let me run this program again. This time I will give 8. So it was 40320. Okay, fine. Let me run this program again. So I will give 15. So that was a large number. Okay, fine. So this is the program of factorial of a number using while group. In this video, we are going to discuss about power of a number program. So what is a power of a number? In mathematical terms, if we have a number a and we raise it to the power of n, then it is denoted as a power n. It means multiplying a by itself n times. For example, 2 power 3 means 2 raised to the power of 3, which means 2 into 2 into 2. If you observe, 2 is multiplied by itself 3 times and the result was 8. And another example, 5 to the power of 2 means 5 is raised to the power of 2, which means 5 into 5. So if you observe, 5 is multiplied by itself 2 times and the final result was 25. And one more thing, here a is called as base and n is called as exponent. Now we need to write a code for it. So before diving into the coding part, let's figure out the logic in a simple words. So at first we need to take the input. So what are my inputs? I need to take the base and the exponent from the user, right? That was a and n. And next, the logic part. So I want to use a for loop because if you observe, the a is repeating n times, right? Okay, let's take 2 power 3 itself. What we are doing? We are multiplying the 2 by itself 3 times, right? So this is first time and this is second time and this is third time, right? So how we are multiplying the 2? We are following a sequence like first time, second time, third time until the n times, right? So we are starting from first time and we are going till n times, nothing but the defined exponent value times, right? So that's why I will use a for loop. And also while iterating on the for loop, I will use a variable and I will multiply the value of a to that variable. And finally, we need to print the output. That was the result, right? So in this way, we will write the code. So let's write that. Let me keep a comment first. That was power of a number, right? So what we need to take the input. The inputs are base and exponent, right? Let's take that. So base equal to int of input of enter base value, right? And exponent equal to int of input of enter exponent value, right? Now I will use a for loop for I in range of. So what is my range limit? So what I said, I will start from the first time till the end time, nothing but the defined exponent value, right? So I will start from 1 and I will go till exp plus 1, right? Now what I need to do? I need to take a variable and multiply the base value to that variable, right? So let me take that variable. Let us say my variable is power. And now what I need to initialize it with? I will initialize it with 1 because we are multiplying a value to a variable, right? So in order to maintain the correct value till the end, we need to initialize the variable to 1. For suppose if it is any addition, we need to initialize it with 0. If it is a multiplication, we need to initialize it with 1. Now we will do power into equal to base, right? So this is similar to power equal to power into base. Both are same. Finally, we need to print the output, right? Print of base, comma, power of exponent is equal to power, right? So this is the code. Okay, let me run this program. So I will give 5, exponent was 2. If you see, the 5 power of 2 is 25. Fine. Let me run this program again. I will give 8 and then exponent as 4. So 8 power of 4 is 4096. So if you do 8 into 8 into 8 into 8, you will get 4096 as a result. So in this way, we will write a power of a number program using a for loop. So now we need to write the same program using the while loop. Okay, let me remove this part. So I will use while loop, while. So what is my condition? I need to start from I and I need to go till n, nothing but the exponent, right? So I will start from I equal to 1 and I will keep I is less than or equal to exponent. Now what I need to do? I need to do power equal to power into base, right? And what should I need to keep? I need to keep an increment statement, right? So what I was doing first time, second time, third time, right? Increment statement, that was I equal to I plus 1. Okay, now let me run this program. So I will give 4 and the exponent value is 5. So if you see, the 4 power of 5 is 1024. Now let me run this program again. This time my base was 10 and I will get exponent value as 5. So 10 power of 5 is 1 lakh, right? In this video, we are going to discuss about a program that was factors of a number. So what are factors in mathematics? Let us say we have a number n1 and we need to find out the factors of that number n1. Let n2 is a number such that n2 is between 1 and n1. And if n2 is divisible by n1, then n2 is one of the factor of n1. For example, if n1 equal to 12, the factors are the numbers n2 that lie between 1 and 12 and are divisible by 12. In this case, the factors of 12 are 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 and 12. So these are the factors of 12. So to find out the factors of 12, we will go from 1 and go till 12. And we will check each and every number between this range one by one. What we check? We will check the divisibility. So we will check whether the numbers between this range is divisible by that number or not. If it is divisible by n1, then we can say that that number is a factor of n1, right? So what is divisibility? How we can say one number is divisible by another number? Let us say we have numbers a and b, and we can say a is divisible by b. We can say a is divisible by b. When we divide a by b, then this leads to the remainder of 0. If the remainder is 0 when we do a by b, then we can say that a is divisible by b. Also, we can say b is one of the factor of a. Now, if you see here, we will check the divisibility of this 12 within this range. Okay, now let's check whether the numbers between this range is divisible by 12 or not by implementing in idealization. Okay, let's start from 1. So if you do this, so we got 0. So 12 is divisible by 1, right? So 1 is a factor of 12. And next we will do 12 mod 2. So it was 0. So 12 is divisible by 2. So 2 is a factor. And 12 mod 3. So it was 0. So 3 is also a factor of 12. Fine. 12 mod 4. It was 0. So 4 is a factor of 12. Okay, fine. And we will do 12 mod 5. We got 2. The remainder was 2, not 0. So 5 is not a factor of 12. Okay, fine. We will do 12 mod 6. So it was 0. So 6 is a factor of 12. Okay. Later we will do 12 mod 7. It was 5. The remainder is not 0. So 7 is not a factor of 12. And next we will do 12 mod 8. So 8 is not a factor of 12 and 12 mod 9. So 9 is not a factor of 12 and 12 mod 10. So 10 is not a factor of 12 and 12 mod 11. 11 is also not a factor of 12 and we will do 12 mod 12. So if you see, we got 0. So 12 is a factor of itself, right? In this way, we will find out the factors. So now we need to write a program to find out the factors of a number. So before diving into the coding part, let's figure out the logic in a simple words. So at first we need to take the input. So what is my input? My input was number n1, right? And coming to the logic part, I want to use a for loop because I was iterating on a range of numbers, right? I was following a sequence, right? I was going from 1 to n1, right? So that's why I will use a for loop. And while iterating on the for loop, I will check whether the number is divisible by numbers within this range or not. If it is divisible, I will print that number. Now let's execute the logic in ideally. So let me keep a comment first. Factors of a number program, right? So at first we need to take the input, right? N equal to int of input of enter a number, right? So later I will use a for loop for I in range of, I need to start from 1 and I need to go till n, right? So that's why I'll keep n plus 1. And I will check if n mod I equal to 0. So this condition will take care of the divisibility, right? And one more thing, I have already made a video on finding whether a number is divisible by another number or not. So if you haven't watched that video yet, please do watch it. I will provide the link in the description box. So please do check it, guys. So now coming to this program, this statement will take care of whether the number is divisible by the numbers within the range or not. So if it is true, means if n mod I equal to 0, then I will print the I, right? And I will keep n equal to double quotes with a space. So I want to print all the factors within a same line, right? So this is the logic. And I also want to include a statement like I want to print the factors of n r. So this is the code, guys. Let me run this program. So I will give 12. So if you see, the factors of 12 are 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 12. Okay, fine. Let me run this program again. So this time I will give 18. So the factors of 18 are 1, 2, 3, 6, 9 and 18. 18 is also divisible by 9. If you do 18 mod 9, you will get 0. So now once more. So this time I will give 100. So if you see, the factors of 100 are 1, 2, 4, 5, 10, 20, 25, 50, 100. So in this way, we will write the factors of a number program using for loop, guys. Now we need to implement the same program using the while loop. So what I will do is I will just remove this for loop and I will keep while. So I was starting from 1, right? I equal to 1. So I initialized I equal to 1. And I need to go till n, right? And also while we are using a while loop, we need to keep an increment or decrement statement. And in our case, we are incrementing the range every time, right? So that's why we kept increment statement that was I equal to I plus 1. So this is the code using while loop. Let's run the program again. This time I will give 49. So if you see, the factors of 49 are 1, 7, 49. Fine. Let's run this program again. This time I will give 56. So the factors of 56 are 1, 2, 4, 7, 8, 14, 28, 56. Right. And once more, let me give 9,000. So these are the factors of 9,000. So in this way, we will write the factors of a number program using while loop, guys. In this video, we are going to discuss about a program to check whether a number is a perfect number or not. So what is a perfect number? A number is said to be a perfect number if it is equal to sum of its proper divisors, that is, sum of its positive divisors excluding the number itself. Here, divisors means factors. And in the previous video, we have already discussed how to find out the factors of a number, right? So if you haven't watched that video yet, please do check it. I will provide the link in the description box. Please do watch it. So what is a factor of a number? Let us say we have two numbers, A and B, and we performed A by B. Then the remainder was 0. Then we can say B is a one of the factor of A. For example, the factors of 8 are, to find out the factors of 8, we will start from 1 till 8, right? We will check, is 8 is divisible by 1? Yes, it's true. So 1 is a factor. And we will check, is 8 is divisible by 2? Yes. Then 2 is a factor. Is 8 is divisible by 3? No, 3 is not a factor. Is 8 is divisible by 4? Yes, 4 is a factor. And we check, is 8 is divisible by 5? No, right? So 5 is not a factor. And then 6, not a factor. And then 7, not a factor. And then 8, is 8 is divisible by 8? Yes, right? So 8 is a factor. So these are the factors of 8. So even if you do 8 mod 1, then you got 0, right? And if you do 8 mod 2, you got 0. 8 mod 4, you got 0. And 8 mod 8, you got 0, right? So these are the factors of 8. Okay, in this way, we will find out the factors. Now, coming to the perfect number, a number is said to be a perfect number if it is equal to sum of its proper divisors, nothing but the factors, right? So this is the definition of a perfect number. Even if you see, the factors of 6 are 1, 2, 3, and also 6. But we need to sum the positive divisors excluding the number itself. We can't include the number. So that's why we only taken 1, 2, and 3. And we need to sum these factors. So if we sum them, 1 plus 2 plus 3, which is equal to 6. If the sum is equal to the number, then we can say that number is a perfect number. And come to the next example. What are the factors of 49? They are 1, 7, and 49, right? But we need to exclude the number itself. So we will exclude 49. So the factors of 49 are 1 and 7. Okay, fine. So what we need to do? We need to sum them. 1 plus 7, which is equal to 8. Is 8 is same as 49? No, right? So 49 is not a perfect number. So now we need to write a code for it. So before diving into the coding part, let's figure out the logic in simple words. At first, we have to take the input. So what is the input? I will take the number from the user, that was n. Later, I will use a for loop because I was iterating from 1 to n. Right? This time I won't go till n because I need to exclude the number itself, right? So my range will be, I will go from 1 to n minus 1. Okay. And here, if you observe, I was forming a sequence, right? I was iterating on the numbers within the sequence. So that's why I will use a for loop. And also, while iterating on the number, I will check whether this number is divisible by the numbers within this range or not. If it is divisible, then I will consider it as a factor and I will add that factor to some variable. And after completion of iterations, I will check whether my number is same as the sum of factors or not. If it is same, then I will print it is a perfect number, or else I will print it is not a perfect number. Simple. Okay, now let's write the code for it. So let me keep a comment first. So that was check if a number is perfect number, right? Now we need to take the input, right? That was n equal to int of input of, enter a number. Fine. Later, I will use a for loop for I in range of. So from where I need to start? I need to start from 1. and I need to go till n minus 1, right? So this is my range. Now, what I need to do? I need to check if n mod I equal to 0 or not. And one more thing, if you don't know how to write a program to check whether a number is divisible by another number or not, I will already made a video on it. If you haven't watched that video yet, please do watch it. I will also provide a link in the description box, so please do check it. Now, this statement will take care of finding whether the number is divisible by the numbers within the range or not. So if it is divisible, what I need to do? My I will be the factor, right? Factor equal to I. What I need to do with this? I need to add this I to a variable. So I will take a variable, let us say answer variable. And what I need to initialize? I need to initialize it with 0 because I was adding this I to a answer variable, right? So I need to initialize it with 0. So I will do answer plus equal to I. This is also similar to answer equal to answer plus I. Both are same. Now what we need to do? We need to check whether my number and the answer is same or not. So for that I will use an if else statement. I will check if n equal to answer, then I will print n is a perfect number, right? Or else n is not a perfect number, right? Okay, now let's run the program. So I will enter 6. So if you see 6 is a perfect number, fine. Okay, let me run this program again. So I will enter 49. So 49 is not a perfect number, right? Okay, let me run this program again. So I will give 15. So what are the factors of 15? They are 1, 3, 5, right? 1 plus 3 plus 5. That was 9. Is 9 is equal to 15? No, right? So 15 is not a perfect number. Okay, now this time let's bring the factors also. I will print I. Fine. Okay, let me run this program again. This time I will give 28. So 28 is a perfect number. What are the factors? My factors are 1, 2, 4, 7, 14. If I add them, that was 1 plus 2 plus 4 plus 7 plus 14, then I will get 28. Right. So that's why 28 is a perfect number. So in this way, we can write the program to check whether a number is a perfect number or not using for loop. We can implement the same program using while loop also. Okay, let's implement that. Just simply remove this line and let's keep a while block. So from where should I need to start from? I need to start iterating from 1, right? So that's why I initialize I equal to 1. Now I need to go till n minus 1, right? So instead of that, let's keep I less than n. I think it's enough. So this is the condition to go till n minus 1. Fine. Now along with this, what do I need to define? I need to define either increment statement or decrement statement, right? In my case, I need an increment statement, right? So that's why I kept that. Now this is the code using while loop, guys. Now let's run the program. So I will enter 6. So if you see 1, 2, 3 are the factors, and if we sum them, we will get 6. So 6 is a perfect number. Fine. Okay, let me run this program again. So this time I will give 15. So 15 is not a perfect number. Fine. And I will again run this program. So this time I will give 100. So 100 is not a perfect number. Fine. And I will again run this program. So this time I will give 28. So 28 is a perfect number. So in this way, we will write the program using while loop, guys. In this video, we are going to discuss about a program to check whether a number is a prime number or not. So what is a prime number? A prime number is a natural number greater than 1 that has no positive divisors other than 1 and itself. A number is said to be a prime number if it has no positive factors other than 1 and itself. For suppose if we compute the factors of any number, then if we get the number of factors as 1 and the number itself, then we can say that number is a prime number. If you see, for example, 2, 3, 5, 7, 11 and 13 are prime numbers because they are only divisible by 1 and the number itself. So 2 is divisible by 1 and also 2, right? And 3 is divisible by 1 and also 3. And if you go for the next number, 4, the 4 is divisible by 1 and also 2 and also 4, right? So that's why 4 is not a prime number. And if you see 5, 5 is a prime number because it is divisible by 1 and 5 only. And 6 is not a prime number because it is divisible by 1, 2, 3 and 6, right? And then 7 is a prime number, and then 11 is a prime number, and 13 is a prime number, and so on. We have so many prime numbers. So now we need to write a program to check whether a number is a prime number or not. The user will prompt a number and we need to print that number is a prime number or not. That's it. So before diving into the coding part, let's figure out the logic in a simple words. So at first we have to take the input. The input was n, of course, and then the logic part. My logic is very simple. So I will check, is there any number between 2 and n minus 1 is divisible by n? If it is divisible, then I will say that my number is not a prime number. If all the numbers within this range are not divisible by the number, then I will say my number is a prime number. So to implement this problem, I will use for else statement. So for the iterations from 2 to n minus 1, I will use a for loop and I will check, is there any number within this range is divisible by number or not? If it is divisible, then I will say my number is not a prime number and I will break. I will come out of the loop. If it is not divisible, means after completion of all iterations, then in the else statement, I will keep the number is a prime number. Simple. So now let's write the code for it. So let me keep a comment first. Check if a number is a prime number. Right. At first we need to take the input, right? N equal to int of input of enter a number. And then I will use a for loop, right? For I in range of. So from where should I need to start my range? I need to start my range from 2 and need to go till n minus 1, right? So my range was 2 comma n. Fine. So what I need to check? I will check if n mod I equal to 0. This condition will take care of whether n is divisible by I or not, right? If it is divisible, what should I need to do? I need to print n is not a prime number. And once I got to know that my number is not a prime number, what should I need to do? I need to come out of the loop. For that, I will use a break statement. If all the iterations are completed, then I can say my number is a prime number, right? Simple. So this is the code, guys. Let me run this program. So I will enter 7. So 7 is a prime number. Fine. Let me run this program again. I will give 6. We know 6 is divisible by 1, 2, 3, and 6, right? So 6 is not a prime number. Okay, fine. And let's run this program again. I will give 9. 9 is not a prime number because 9 is divisible by 1, 3, and 9, right? And let me run this program again. This time I will give 29. So 29 is a prime number. Fine. Once more, I will give 31. So 31 is a prime number. So in this way, we will write a program to check whether a number is a prime number or not using for loop. We can also implement the same program using while loop also. Okay, let's implement that. So for that, just simply remove this for loop and keep while. From where should I need to start my iterations? I need to start my iterations from I equal to 2, right? And I need to go till n minus 1, right? So that's why I kept I less than n. So this is my condition. I was starting my iterations from I equal to 2. I was not starting from I equal to 1 because we know 1 can divide any number. We know 1 is a factor of every number. So there is no need to check for 1. So that's why we started from I equal to 2. And one more thing. So in the while loop, we need to mention an increment or decrement statement. And in our case, we need an increment statement, right? So this is my increment statement. Now let's run the program. So I will give 13. So if you see 13 is a prime number, right? I will give 15. We know 15 is not a prime number, right? 101. 101 is a prime number. So I will give 907. 907 is a prime number. 102034. So it is not a prime number. So in this way, we can write the program to check whether a number is a prime number or not using while loop, guys. I hope you like this video and thank you for watching. Hey folks, if you enjoyed this coding tutorial and found it helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Share it with your fellow coding buddies, drop a comment with your thoughts or questions, and of course, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss out on our latest content. Your support means a lot and it helps our community grow. Happy coding!